Today we're here to talk about some pretty unusual animals, some gorgeous animals, some critically endangered animals, and they're lizards of the genus Cyclura, or rock iguanas. And we have Tom Crutchfield here, who's been raising reptiles for probably 30 or 40 years or more, and knows more about these iguanas than most people in the world. And part of what we're trying to do is there are different programs for to try to help raise the numbers of these animals. They're critically endangered, and we're trying to raise some funds through sales of some posters to go directly into conservation programs.
Most of the time when people think of iguanas, they think of this. This is a green iguana. In fact, in the world there are actually hundreds of kinds of lizards in the same family as iguanas, the family Iguanidae, but this is the one everyone thinks of. This is a very common lizard. It's found all over the tropical Americas, and it's invasive even here in Florida and throughout the Caribbean, and even now in Indonesia and other countries. This iguana, however, is not a typical iguana that you might see. This is a rock iguana. This particular one is from the island of Hispaniola, and that's the only place in the world it's found, and there's only just a few thousand of them left. But throughout the Bahamas, there are 3 different species of these rock iguanas of the genus Cyclura, and all of them are endangered. Some of them critically endangered and reduced down to just a few hundred animals.
Yeah, in fact, a couple of iguanas we're working with in the Bahamas right now come from the island of San Salvador and the island of White Key in the Exuma chain. And then there's one that comes from Ackland's Island in Crooked and Ackland Island Bight. And which one do you think is the rarest out of that?
Now those 3, certainly I think the one that is endemic to San Salvador is by far the rarest, because it's reduced down to 500 or less animals, and you and I just got through with some of the field surveys, and our information is pretty much the same as
so how many did you say?
500 or less.
And
no
you
more,
know, and that's the thing about when people hear about iguanas, they think of these green iguanas,
yes.
Which the numbers are just all over the place. There's thousands of them. In fact, they're farming them in Central and South America. But on this one island, there's 500, and that's it.
These lizards that live on San Salvador, the San Salvador rock iguana, Cyclura riley, live primarily on 8 or 9 small cays off the coast. There is a small population on the mainland. We don't know how many. We don't even know if they're reproducing, but certainly they don't exist there in any substantial numbers, as they are very rarely encountered. In the Bahamas for the last year or so, I've been working on the San Salvador Rock Iguana Conservation Center. We had our grand opening on May the 9th. That's only one of our conservation programs, in the Bahamas. That's probably going to turn into be the largest project, however. We have another one involving the other endemic iguana that's found on Sandy Key, located on the southern end of the Exumas. And we're also working with the Cyclura riley, Chalice, which occurs on an island in the Bight of Auckland's and Crooked Island. And all of these projects include education with locals that live near them. It includes monitoring populations of the lizards. It involves monitoring the cactus populations even, because cactus is a fairly important part of their diet, we know. And there's a moth called Cactoblastus moth that actually lay their eggs in the cactus, and the larvae destroy the cactus over time. So that can be a problem also. So we monitor those kinds of things. We monitor any kind of feral animals of any type, and we try to control them. These feral animals can be a big problem, can't they? Can you elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah, and I think it's Big Pine Key in the Turks and Caicos. Back in the 80s, there was over 10,000 iguanas in this population. Well, they built a resort. And with the resort comes workers and equipment and rats and cats to control the rats and dogs as pets. Well, John Iverson came back about 3 or 4 years after the resort was built to do another study, population study, and they found less than 1,000 iguanas remaining. So these feral animals wiped out over 9,000 iguanas.
What we'd really like to do is we'd like to ask you to purchase this poster. we've donated 2,000 of these posters, and around 60% of the money will go, about $6 or $7 will go completely to the San Salvador Rock Iguana Project Conservation Center. And your help is much needed because money is always tight. We are privately funded. The original grant money has now been spent. So anything that you could do to help these iguanas, we would really sincerely appreciate it, wouldn't we, Joe?
Yes, we would. And there should be this poster hanging in every school in the Bahamas at this time where they were donated. So these posters are a good way to get the word out and to make the Bahamians proud.
If you have any additional questions on rock iguanas or any subject such as this, please don't hesitate to call me or contact me. You can reach me through my website, tomcrutchfield.com. You can email me at tomcrutchfield1@aol.com, or you can visit me on Facebook, where I have a regular page in Tom Crutchfield and a public page.
And you could contact me at www.natselections.com.
Thank you.